Hello friends! A while back I made this video with my pal Game Over Jesse about what I called Zelda Micro-Theories, and we're back with some more of those today. But maybe you're wondering, what the heck is a micro-theory? Is that when a Minish starts a Zelda-focused YouTube channel? No. What I call a micro-theory is, say, when you have a theory that you think holds up pretty well, but there simply isn't enough substance to it to warrant an entire video dedicated all to itself. So instead of stretching out one theory into a longer video, when it can simply be fed to you in a matter of minutes, I've compiled several of those theories to combine into one single video. And that's how we got here. So with that out of the way, join me as we examine 5 micro-theories about the Legend of Zelda. Link in The Wind Waker is not the hero of time. This is important throughout the game's first act as we make our way around collecting goddess pearls in order to earn the Master Sword. One thing is made clear to us. Link has no connection to the hero of time that came before him. These deities like Jaboon are all hoping for the hero of time to reappear, but end up with this kid instead. While he does rise to the challenge and prove himself worthy, the hero of winds came from nowhere. Or did he? This theory hinges on one important detail. During the game's early minutes, Link's grandmother gives him a shield. She explains that the shield is a family heirloom and that it is customary to hang the family shield on the wall. This shield certainly drives home the idea that this is not the hero of time. While called the hero's shield, it bears very little resemblance to any of the shields used by the hero of time. Yet its description is still said to be the shield used by a hero of legend. This sounds like a contradiction to me, does it not? A family heirloom used by the hero of legend, yet not the hero of time's shield, and used by a character with no connection to the hero of time? It seemingly makes no sense. But chronologically speaking, we have actually seen this shield used before. The hero, in the era of the Minish Cap, received a shield with this very same design, in fact. The Minish Cap takes place nearly at the beginning of the Zelda timeline, and prior to the timeline split that occurs in Ocarina of Time. So it is set before the Wind Waker. Link in the Minish Cap also shares the Toon Link design seen in the Wind Waker, and would certainly fit into the legendary hero status as he saved Princess Zelda and all of Hyrule from the evil Vati. So while Link in the Wind Waker has no connection to the hero of time, it is entirely possible that he still is a descendant of a hero, that being the hero of the Minish Cap, whose family carried on his shield, a shield that was a gift from Zelda herself as a family heirloom. After 100 years asleep in the Shrine of Resurrection, the hero of the wild is deprived of his memories. Throughout the game, Link can recover his memories and recalls his past as the knight who wielded the sword that seals the darkness. The memories come in the form of these cutscenes, which are all pretty great in my opinion. There are 13 memories in the base game and 5 more in the DLC. But is that all? Here's some food for thought. Every time Link finds a new item in the game, a short text box will appear with a brief item description, whether it be for a type of weapon or just food. But Link here is an amnesiac. How does he know things like the fact that royal broadswords were awarded to knights who did remarkable feats? There's always these little tidbits of trivia about each item, and these aren't the descriptions given to us by the Sheikah Slate via the Hyrule Compendium either. So my theory is, when Link finds a new item or weapon, it actually jogs his memory a little bit, as he's able to recall a small detail about it. So in a way, each of those little text boxes, every item description, is Link slowly regaining his memory over the course of the game. In the early hours of Twilight Princess, after freeing the light spirit Faron from the veil of twilight covering his province, he will give to Link the iconic green tunic. He tells Link that this is his awakened form, and says that the tunic once belonged to a hero chosen by the gods. His power is now Link's. I'm sure the assumption of many at the time that this game came out, including myself, was that this tunic was the same one worn by the hero of time. However, as time has gone on, I no longer believe this to be the case. First off, Pharaon states that the tunic was worn by the hero chosen by the gods. While this could be a blanket statement for many of the heroes in the series, the truth is that the hero of time was never stated to be a hero chosen by the gods. Many other heroes have been, but nowhere to my recollection in Ocarina of Time is it ever stated for the hero of time. In fact, when he first draws the Master Sword, he's put into a 7-year coma to mature into an adult. After that, he's referred to the hero of time as chosen by the Master Sword. Second point, but this game actually takes place in the child timeline. In this timeline, the hero of time returned to his child era and prevented the events of Ocarina of Time from ever happening, meaning that technically in Hyrule, he was never the hero. He did still go on to save Termina, but he never drew the Master Sword or face down against Ganon. Thirdly, there is the actual design of the tunic itself. While being similar with, the long pointed hat and all that, it's not quite exactly the same as the hero of time's tunic. Different belts, different collar, etc. However, another hero did wear a tunic that fits this design. The hero of the sky from Skyward Sword. In fact, the design is almost identical, except that in Twilight Princess it's actually more worn with exposed stitching and details like that. Otherwise, these are the only two heroes to share this design of tunic with the mail underneath, this style of gauntlets, etc. Furthermore, the hero of the sky is actually stated multiple times to be the hero chosen by the goddess Hylia. So I believe that when Pharaon refers to this tunic belonging to an ancient hero, he's not referring to the hero of time, but rather the hero of the sky. And this makes sense, because Pharaon says it belonged to an ancient hero, and let's face it, Skyward Sword takes place way farther back in the timeline than Ocarina of Time does. Now this one I have already covered in detail in one of my dungeon design videos, but if you haven't seen that one or just want a refresher, well, here's the theory again. In the Wind Waker, Link must enter the Forbidden Woods to find Makar, a Korok who fell into the woods and was lost. Link is warned of the dangers in the woods by the Deku Tree and this Korok named Aldo, who states that the Forbidden Woods was once the Korok's home. He also remarks that we may even find their old stump-shaped houses there. Sure enough, we do find these houses carved out of tree stumps, dotted around the woods. Another detail is this symbol painted on the doors of the dungeon, which you may recognize as the symbol of the Kokiri tribe. The Koroks are actually evolved from the Kokiri, so the two races are actually one and the same. So it's possible that the Forbidden Woods was actually once the peaceful Kokiri forest, where the hero of time grew up. They both feature similar houses, both are in the southeastern corners of the map, and if you look at the way that the woods are positioned in relation to the forest haven where the Great Deku Tree resides, it lines up with the way that Kokiri Forest was placed in relation to the Great Deku Tree's grove in Ocarina of Time. Even the enemy types are mostly the same, with Deku Babas in Ocarina of Time and the Boko Babas in the Wind Waker. Everything seems to fall into place to add a tragic layer of context to this dungeon. Now, if you'd like some more in-depth info on this dungeon, I happen to have a video right here that you may be interested in. You can click the card above or find a link in the description. No pun intended. This is another one that I've just covered recently in my dungeon design series. When exploring the ancient Cistern, you'll find the dungeon split into two distinct themes. The first floor is bright with lotus flowers, golden light, and pools of water, while the basement is dark and eerie. In this basement, we can find pools of this dark liquid, which cursed bokoblins will spawn in near. It's never specified, but it's my belief that this dark liquid is actually malice. First off, there's the overall appearance of it. Now granted, it certainly seems less viscous, and it's certainly more purple rather than the red and pink that we see in Breath of the Wild, but keep in mind that these are different games with different art styles and thousands of years taking place between them. In both Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword, cursed bokoblins are only ever seen in areas with a lot of malice present. They take on different appearances between games, with Skyward Sword having these zombie-like bokoblins and Breath of the Wild having cursed bokoblins simply appearing like floating skulls, not unlike the classic bubble enemy, but still, undead bokoblins have their connection to malice. Then there's the evil crystals. They're these chunks of what look like that same liquid, but hardened, and the item description for these states that they are pure crystallized monster malice. So clearly the concept of malice was already something the developers had in mind. And keep in mind, Breath of the Wild's development began immediately after Skyward Sword was finished, so in my mind the connection seems more clear. But hey, just as a bonus, Ocarina of Time 3D, which was developed close to Skyward Sword as well, seems to have replaced the lava beneath Ganon's castle with what appears to be malice as well. There's some food for thought for you. This could have been the developers trying to tease this concept of malice out to us before Breath of the Wild. So there you have it. There's 5 micro-theories about The Legend of Zelda. If you liked this video and you want to see more things like this, then please feel free to hit that like button and be sure to comment below and tell me. I love your feedback, guys, and I want to make sure that I make videos that you'll enjoy. So let me know if you enjoyed this or if you didn't. And if you're hungry for more Zelda theories, I actually have another video with even more micro-theories, which I'll link to in the description and the end screen right now. Thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to the lovely people who supported me here on Patreon. In particular, those who supported at the cheese tier or higher, which includes Tetra, Brenda, Justin, Callie, Finley, and Grey Mage. Thank you so much for the support, you guys, and I will catch you all next time. Bye-bye.